The role of NFTs in the world of sports. A look at the future of digital collectibles in the sports industry.
We are now going to start on looking at NFTs in the sports industry. I'm actually going to join the panel myself for this one, and we'll have a chat. So we're missing James Ashton. Unfortunately, he has COVID. It's been a while since I've actually said that about people missing by COVID, but he wasn't able to travel. So it's the three of us, and I think we've got a very good session here. So do you want to take a moment and just introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Dave Meltzer. I've worked in the sports industry in a variety of different ways. I started with a company called Lee Steinberg Sports Entertainment. They did the movie Jerry Maguire about our firm, so I was CEO of that firm.
You had me at hello.
Exactly. And then started a global sports marketing company with a Hall of Fame American quarterback, American football, no offense, Amit, but Warren Moon, the first African-American quarterback in the Hall of Fame. We had a global marketing company, and that led me to the media side of things, because before I got into sports, and the reason I got hired to be the CEO of the most notable sports agency was because of my technology background. So I'd played sports in college, had a law degree, but I worked as CEO of Samsung's phone division.
Oh, wow.
Which allowed, as you can see, for me to have a different type of perspective of sports.
Yes.
Which now, with Web3 especially, has allowed me to make more money, help more people, and have more fun in sports than ever.
Yeah, I think so. It's like, I think we're at a point in time where it's like and I guess this is what we'll be discussing in this session, where it's like brand new opportunities that we didn't even conceive of 5-10 years ago.
Well, look at, you got Gary Vee.
I know.
Right? Guys like, so Gary and I worked together, and he's the one that convinced me to build my own brand, when for years all I was doing was building other people's brands.
Yes.
You would never think someone like me could have a brand, or someone like Gary even.
No,
it's amazing.
It's just a level playing field. Amit, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Amit Singh Rathore. I am the founder and CEO of Football Fan App, and we have created our FanCoin as well. And Football Fan App is a social app, a Web3 social app, where fans create content, they post content, they do a lot of different activities. Everything is user generated on the app. They collect FanCoin for every activity that they do on the platform. And with those FanCoin, they can convert their content into NFTs and trade them on the platform with a click of a button. No need of any wallet. No need to understand what a crypto wallet means, what cryptocurrencies are, etc., etc. Then users can also get offers on various different products from various different brands on the app. There are brands like Apple, Samsung, Nike, Adidas, Manchester United, Liverpool, Barcelona, etc. And if they want, they can even cash out those FanCoins on an exchange that we work with.
So on that note, can I just ask you, I mean, we're going to be covering 4 different areas here. So we're going to be covering the commercial opportunities presented to the teams or the agencies, like you were saying. We're going to be looking at how the athletes themselves can use their own image rights and their own, Cristiano Ronaldo's CR7 was just like, back a few months ago, was just super interesting. So then you have the third area I want to look at is exactly what you're saying, the fan engagement. Whether it's generated by the team or the athlete, or whether it's generated by the fans themselves. And then, of course, I want to look at the accessibility of sports to millions. So, for example, I love tennis. I could actually, through a metaverse like Decentraland or whatever, I can sit down and watch in real time, live, as if I was on, center court. So, going to you, Amit, for a second, you were talking about the fan engagement. So, how, what are the kind of benefits and possibilities and opportunities to interact with fans that never were there before?
So this is one of the key things, actually. All the football clubs are looking to engage with younger audience. So if you go to the stadiums these days, especially the soccer stadiums, I don't know much about American football over there, you will not see, younger audience over there. Now, the reason is that the engagement with those younger audience is not there. Clubs are still thinking that we can, engage with them in the way we used to do that 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Times have changed. They are all looking for quick bites. So in order to engage with fans, you need to innovate. You need to bring things that they like, they love. So NFTs is one of the things that, the younger audience is also getting into. So I'll give you an example. My 13-year-old boy, he is a big Eden Hazard fan, Chelsea fan. and I asked him, do you need a poster of Eden Hazard, or should I give you a digital version of Eden Hazard? He said, digital version. I asked him, why? I mean, you can put poster in your room and you can do whatever you want. No, Dad, it's wrong. I can share that digital asset with my friends. I can make it a DP of it. I can even print it out if I want and stick it on the wall. So there are more utilities of that digital version than with the physical version. So engagement is very important. There are various exotic models that can be created on top of this NFT NFTs that users are creating. One of the important things that we are missing somewhere, we are all talking about official NFTs like Cristiano Ronaldo's NFTs or Messi's NFTs. But if you look at the social media, why social media became popular was because it was user-generated content. It was not official content that made social media popular.
Yeah.
So we need to think more on the user's perspective, that how those users, those creators can create user-generated content that can be converted into NFTs, creates revenue streams for themselves, at the same time engages with the fans, and gives revenue opportunities for the clubs and teams and anyone who's involved.
Actually, you're absolutely right. And I mean, I'm sure it's the same in your experience. It's like the passion of the fans will generate potentially, in terms of scope and quality, more than a player or an athlete could. I mean, is that, where do you think that can go?
Yeah, so, for years when you look at it, there's 4 components of why sports work, and it still exists today, but it's the multi-generational aspect that makes sports so wonderful. A grandfather with a son.
Oh yeah, I inherited all my allegiances.
Of course you do. And so what we really have to realize is that all the generations capture the information differently today.
Yeah.
And then it's modified to, like you said, to cater to the grandchild, the father, and the grandfather, or granddaughters, mothers, etc. And then experientially, from that modification, we think about the capability of NFTs, of Web3, allow us to amplify it at a magnitude that no one else has ever seen before. That's why people like Gary and I can build such great brands, because you're not just stuck to a building in New York City.
Yeah.
Right, you literally, you could be Dr. Pimple Popper, and there's millions of people because you can amplify that. And then finally, what makes it really unique is the digital side, is the younger generation, believe it or not, has a different experiential relationship with perpetual content. So perpetual content for old people like me was having a baseball on my shelf.
Yep.
And then I couldn't do anything with the baseball on myself other than go to a show and get it signed or sell it. Today, the perpetual nature of content allow us a lot of different experiential perpetuating experiences, and then also monetization experiences, subletting our own experiences, as well as being able to create different channels that allow us to make money from it, which excites all the generations.
Yeah, because I think another thing I found really interesting is what, if we move on to the athletes and the image rights and what they themselves can do. So I think there's going to be an interesting battle coming up, because I was speaking to your colleague about kind of there's all the goal celebrations. So you have and you have all the goal celebrations. They're actually not copyrighted by the individual athletes. And so there is a company who's actually used those, created NFTs, and you can apply them to your avatar in the metaverse. Now, I can see issues like, somebody's goal celebration or the bicycle kick or whatever, they have their own, unique moves. When somebody does that in the metaverse, who owns it? Should they be licensing it, or it's just a move, where I think we're going to come into a lot of interesting points like that.
Yeah, so it's a gray area at the moment.
Yeah.
Whether the rights are owned by the broadcasters, the rights are owned by the club, the rights are owned by the player. So that's a gray area over there, which will be resolved in my opinion. But we should not restrict ourselves or the athletes to just focus on that kind of content. We have some players on our app who are professional players. They create a lot of NFTs, but what they do is that they will say, okay, if you buy this NFT, I'll give you a pair of my sneakers with it.
Yeah.
Those NFTs are sold within seconds. They go on the app, the users who are following them, they get the notification that, so-and-so player has put the NFT on. It gets sold within seconds.
It's all the the NFT that comes with benefits,
exactly.
friends
So
with
utility.
benefits.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a very strong utility, and now those athletes are also understanding that it's not just about that image, that goal celebration, because they don't know who owns the rights. But there are other ways they can monetize, they can leverage their image, their various different things that they own.
Yeah, because I think when it comes to image rights, I think David Beckham back many years ago, 20 years ago, was the one who really saw the benefit, and and he was the one who saw the benefit. So. Yes, God, yeah, exactly. Of owning the rights, and so Manchester United. I was working with United at the time, and he had a battle with them to claim his own rights. So I can just see we're going to enter into that. So does the fan own it? Does the athlete own it? Does the club own it? I think it's going to be an interesting time. But you're right, it's a grey area. It'll all play itself out. So going on then to we've talked about the fan content and the fan interaction. I mean, what do you feel the benefit of kind of Web3? And if one of the utilities or benefits that came with an NFT was you could attend a virtual event, because I've seen it with concerts. I don't know so Lil Nas X was on either Fortnite or Roblox. 33 or 34 million people watched that. I mean, that's just physically impossible, in a sports. I mean, where do you think this accessibility will bring sports?
Yeah, it's going to be incredible, and it's not just the accessibility of millions of people being able to be there, but be in specific places while the game's going on. So
I never thought of that.
A lot of people don't realize I have a suite, invested in a suite app that allows you to take 12 of your friends, and not only are you in the suite together virtually, watching the game, but you can move the suite so as the ball moves, you always have the best positioning.
Okay. I did not know that, and that is awesome.
And then, with NFTs, it allows for the collectibles, it allows for fractionalized ownership of a virtual suite. Could you imagine when you have a marketplace of 35 million people? More people watched on Twitch the Monday Night Football game with Eli Manning, one of our superstar retired players, than actually watched the game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm saying virtually watch the game on TV or YouTube on Monday night. So the whole game is changing, but I think that customized, personalized experience with the actual event is going to change the whole face of the metaverse.
Yeah. Because I think that's, I hadn't thought of it that way. I just thought of, attending access, but, access that's customizable is absolutely incredible. And so that's going back to what we were saying, how we bring the commercial. You can send, it's like people playing, you can sell, you're not limited by constraints. I mean, this is a whole new revenue model for stadia owners and stuff like that. I mean, if you can send an unlimited number of suites, I mean, they should be all over this.
So I have a different view on that, actually, and I've been discussing this with a lot of metaverse creators, especially when they are focusing on sports. So, see, when you go to any game, there is an excitement. There is a pre-game process, which we as fans, we do. There is an excitement to travel. There is an excitement to enter the stadium. Yeah, the crowd, the atmosphere, everything. So I think the metaverse is not going to replace that experience. It will work in parallel.
Yeah.
There are people, let's say in Africa or other places, where they would like to be at the stadium because of various different reasons. They are not there. So this metaverse will help them experience that, but not in the same way as you actually experience in real life.
Yeah.
Can you actually experience Qatar Football World Cup in the same way in metaverse? You cannot. There is a process to it. There is an excitement. There is a different experience, in my opinion, which cannot be replaced by metaverse. Yes, it can live in parallel, but it will not replace.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, when we're talking about concerts or events, there's nothing like the crowds shouting around you and singing badly. So, it's like I completely agree. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say it actually enhances the value of the live experience because of the distinction of energy that is created and the connectivity of being there. So I think, and I see it already, in Germany, when we brought the NFL to Germany this year, 3 million people wanted tickets.
Yeah.
And so, the people who got them had the highest vibration or frequency of experience, but we were able to provide virtually millions of people access to the game, and then it just wants them to participate more at whatever level either they can conveniently make or afford.
Yeah, because I mean, I was living in London. I think it was about 10 years ago, maybe, and NFL was the fastest growing sport in the UK. And because they played 1 or 2 games from the season over in London and Wembley, and so something like that. Like if they were, if they were to do that again now, augmenting, having an augmented metaverse and Web3 experience, because physically the people in London, apart from those 1 or 2 games a year, can't actually go, and yet that was the most, the fastest growing sport. So I can see, it opening up. And you mentioned Africa. I think in Africa is a very interesting thing where it's got a massive adoption of Web3. I think it's, in terms of continents, I think it is one of the fastest. But we're coming up against technical constraints there, where, for example, they have to pay for data packages that we take for granted. So things that we, data is a luxury. So then, it's what are the technical constraints there? I think it's, you have a passion, but if you don't have the technical or things like that, I think, something like this, I think, is endless in what we can do. It's so freaking exciting. So do you know what I'd love next year? Let's the 3 of us sit down and have another chat. I think that would actually be really good, and see where we've come from in the last, thing. Is everything is going to change every single time you sit down. There's going to be more advancements. Our time is up. Does anybody in the audience have any questions? No? Okay.
Thank you.
Very quiet, but thank you. That was phenomenal. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.